Hello, my name is Bill Fredrickson. I'm with the Land Mobile Radio Division of Leonardo. Leonardo is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that is involved in aerospace, defense, and electronics. The Land Mobile Radio Division, we focus on 4 key technologies: Tetra, LTE, P25, and digital mobile radio. Today, I want to focus some of our efforts on ECOS-D solution. ECOS-D stands for Extended Communication System Digital. The key building block to ECOS-D is the radio base station 4000. Part of what makes this solution very unique in the industry is that this is a software-defined radio. And so within this radio, you program it to be either analog FM, P25, DMR Tier 2 or Tier 3, as well as P25. All that happens inside this base station. You just have to program it the way you want to apply it. Oftentimes in the industry, people have the need for a simulcast application. We can do simulcast all inside this box. For simulcast, there's 3 key things that you have to have. You have to vote the signal, you have to synchronize the signals, and you have to equalize them. Some of the competitors provide multiple boxes to do that. We do that all inside the box, right inside this core module. No need for extra boxes, 1 catalog number, and that system catalog number takes care of everything you need. So then from that one single base station, if you want to build out and scale to larger and larger systems, you just add vertically or horizontally as much capacity or as much requirements as you need. The radio base station is software configurable to be and do what you need it to do. Now, one of the key things that need to be taken into account is maintainability. The cost and the time it takes to go out and work on these systems can be quite expensive and a big part of your operating costs. This station was designed from day one to be maintainable. Remotely, there's alarming and there's ability to configure it and reconfigure it without having to go to the site. If for some reason you do need to go to the site, well, these front modules here are hot swappable. So they easily pull out and you can replace the module that failed with a new module that you brought with it. In fact, it is so simple that I could replace it. There's also modules in the back that are replaceable, and that's designed so that when something does fail, you're not changing out the base station, you're just changing out the particular module. When we talk about trunking, that's digital mobile radio tier 2 or P25 trunking, it's important. You have to have site control and mobility management. For our solution, that also is done all inside the box. No requirement for extra boxes. One of the key things that people look at when they consider land mobile radio solutions is reliability. The fact is, for many day-to-day operations, a cellular phone is sufficient for normal use. But it's when there's a man-made or a natural crisis that these private systems are to be relied on. Therefore, you really need to have them operating when you do have the crisis. Therefore, you need to have a very reliable and, more importantly, a very resilient system. We've built resiliency right into the system. In our simulcast solution, we have a master base station that does the voting of the signals as they're received. If something were to happen to that master, through software, we define a second base station at another site as the backup master. So you keep communications operating when you absolutely need to have them. Similarly, when it comes to trunking, we do the same type of thing. The master trunking controller, which is software defined into one of these stations, controls activities at the site. If for some reason that base station acting as the master trunking controller were to fail, the second station can be programmed to provide the master trunking control. When you're doing mobility management and roaming from site to site, we have to have mobility management that also is programmed into one of the base stations. Again, should you lose that base station, that a base station at another site can take over mobility management. So you're assured that when you really need to be able to communicate, the system is there to allow you to do that. So far, we've been focused on the infrastructure. We've talked about resiliency. We've talked about the fact that you can do simulcast and trunking. It all happens within the box. Next, I want to talk a little bit about some of the terminals that work on this infrastructure. Now let's talk about the radio terminals that work on the infrastructure. Through the digital mobile radio interoperability process, there are a bunch of radios that can work on our infrastructure. In fact, at Leonardo, we have more interoperability agreements with other radio terminal manufacturers than any other infrastructure supplier on the planet Earth. We work with Kenwood, we work with Motorola, we work with Hytera, Simoco, Tate, you name it, we work with them. This allows the customer to pick and choose the radio that has the right mix of features and price points that meets their requirements. The next part of the EcoSD solution we want to talk about is the dispatch workstation. Through the Digital Mobile Radio Association AIS interface standard, it allows the radio terminals speak to the infrastructure, and the infrastructure can then speak via AIS to the dispatch workstation. That allows a standard interface so you can communicate with other dispatch workstation manufacturers who have built to that interface. We have integrated with both Avtec and Zetron, who are two of the larger and more popular independent workstation providers. The next part of the solution I like to talk about is the operational management of the EcoSD solution. We do that through a piece of software we call EcoSD Connect. This software allows you to do network management and alarming, subscriber management, and remote diagnostics, and determine the health and the operational statistics of the system. The last part of the solution that I want to address is probably one of the more important ones, and that is the services that go behind the solution that's delivered. This includes program management, system engineering, warranty, technical services, commissioning, testing, as well as training. All of that is handled out of Overland Park, Kansas. So that's where we maintain an inventory stock, that's where the warranty parts are stored, and that's where the service calls are handled out of Overland Park, Kansas. The last thing is our go-to-market strategy includes working with customers direct, but a very important component to our distribution strategy is working through our indirect channel through our value-added resellers. We've started to establish a strong network, and we're continuing to look for strong resellers that can act as system integrators in their geographic area and help us with this solution. One of the other solutions the Land Mobile Radio division of Leonardo provides is Tetra. Tetra is a very popular standard that is in use throughout the world. This is an example of one of our Tetra base stations, and this is our new T4 portable that operates both as a Tetra portable as well as LTE.